Get ready for an eargasm as you listen to unsolicited advice from that chick you know, and that chick you know would be me, India L. Trotter. Sit back, relax, and get ready for a full dose of real talk. Enjoy the podcast, and note, this podcast is for mature audiences only. Hello, everyone. Yes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited. So, anywho, thank you for listening to me, India L. Trotter. This is my podcast, Unsolicited Advice from That Chick You Know, and that chick you know would be me. And I normally start off by saying how I'm appreciative of you all listening to me, which I am, and that, I'm amazed by the fact that you all continue to tune into my rhetoric and my shenanigans, and I am. But I am just having such a great time doing this, and I hope that you all are having a great time listening to it. Each week I get more listeners and more subscribers, and albeit it's a slow process of getting people to tune in and to listen, I truly believe that once you listen once, you're hooked because you want to hear what shenanigans or what rhetoric I might say next. So my aim is not to disappoint you, to come up with some relevant and some, current and interesting topics for you to listen to. And so, I struggle every once in a while because, there are those times when it's kind of like having writer's block. I go blank. I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to talk about? And then I'm like smack dab in the middle of a situation and I realize, oh, this is supposed to be, research or fodder for my next topic. And so lucky for you, I've had a couple different situations jump off in the past week. So I have plenty of shit to talk about because understand that I don't know how I find myself in these scenarios and situations, but they make for great material. So anywho, without further ado, let's just jump into today's podcast. So I want you all to know that last week I got ousted from one of the many Facebook groups that I was a member. And it's funny because I didn't even know I was a member. Well, I knew I was a member of this group, but it wasn't one that I solicited to be in. For whatever reason, people just feel like they want to add me to a group. Like, they want me to be a part. They want me to be down. And I understand because, I'm the coolest person I know, right? So if I knew me, I'd want me to be in a Facebook group. So I get it. People just add me to shit. But they don't ask me. They just put me in the group and I'm there. And I guess I'm supposed to be a willing and avid participant, which I guess for all intents and purposes, since I got kicked out, that I was not. And if you can tell, I don't give a fuck. And I'm not saying that you can't add me to a group and I'll be a participant, but here it is. I am on 1,000 when it comes to promoting myself, my brand, because I am in a mode of trying to get the word out there about my blogs, about my book, about my podcast. And so there are some avenues that I have taken on social media that allow me to kind of branch out, if you will, and touch people who I would normally not touch. And in those instances, I have sought out specific groups to what it is that I am doing. And I have kind of attached myself to those groups. So I have become a willing participant. I participate. I answer questions. I, might get on a thread. I might kiki, hee, and ha-ha with some folks. And while I'm doing that, I promote my brand. But if you just add me to a group, one of which I didn't seek out, then for me, the group has no merit. Not for me, because I didn't ask to be a part of the group. So I may not participate. The only time you may hear from me is when I am promoting one of my my products, my blog, my podcast, my book, or anything that has to do with me. So yes, it may very well seem that it is me, and more me. Yes. So, I said all that to say, because I digressed a little bit. So I was ousted from this particular group because the young lady said that I was not following the rules. And she said that because I wasn't following the rules about promoting my own material about myself, that I could no longer be a part of the group. So I'm like, cool, like no disrespect. I didn't mean to disrespect the rules of the group. You added me to the group. My bad. That's the synopsis. I'm giving you the abbreviated version of what I said to this chick who was in my inbox. Now, mind you, I don't even fucking like people in my inbox. I've told people the messages in my inbox that are acceptable and unacceptable. So had she listened to the podcast that I advertised in her group, she would have known not to send me that stupid shit in my inbox. But nonetheless, she did. And we're going to give her a free pass because she wanted to let me know that I had been ousted from this group. That is anybody really a member of this group? I'm not even going to put it out there because I don't want to badmouth her group. But who does anybody know? Anyone else who's a member of? Well, let me not do that to her. Anyway, so she ousted me. So I apologized, half-ass, I guess, and then she comes back to me and tells me that maybe if I relaxed, I'd be able to, people be more drawn to me and I'd be able to make more friends. And therein is where she had it fucked up. I don't make my friends on social media, and I broke this shit down to her, and I'm going to break it down to y'all, and then we're going to talk about today's topic. 99.9% of the people that are on social media, even those who are on my page, they are not my friends. They are merely people that I know. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but they're acquaintances. I don't know these people. The majority of them I do not know. I have family, and I have a handful of people that I can really put in my pocket and call my friends. But these are just people I know. I don't get on social media to make friends. Like, I'm not in high school. I'm not trying to be the most popular. Well, I guess I am trying to be popular, but I'm not trying to win a friendship contest. Popularity, maybe, because I need to, advertise my brand, build my brand. I need people to recognize me for what it is, the services that I provide. But other than that, I'm not looking for friendship. So it made me think that people are confused about what a friend is, which leads me to today's topic. Are we friends, or have you been confused with the foes? Friend or foe? That's today's topic. And I'm not saying foe, F-O-E, as in enemy. I'm saying foe as in F-A-U-X. And the implication with the F-A-U-X is that we're speaking about those friendships that are phony, that are not real, that are in some instances virtual, social, like in social media. You have those virtual friendships, and those are okay, but those aren't, at the end of the day, your quote-unquote friends. Those are just people that you know. And so we need to explore this topic just a little bit more. And again, I'm not saying any of this disrespectfully, but I want to dive into it. And I want you to dive into it with me. So let's take a look at this concept a little bit more closely. And let's do that together. Real friendly like. Let's define the word friend. The word friend, as per Google, in the noun form is a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. So that is the noun version of the word friend. The word friend, however, can be defined as a verb. And as a verb, the meaning is to add someone to a list of contacts associated with a social networking website. And so I guess we all understand that. So you can say, I friended, or I added someone as a friend to my Facebook account, to my Twitter account, or whatever. So you guys understand the two. There's a noun and there's a verb. And just by looking at this definition, I think that there are some confusions or some mixing of the parts of speech. And what I mean by that is that in the verb form, where you friend someone on social media, it does not automatically translate into the noun form of being a friend, of whom you formed a bond or a relationship with. So, I ask you, the listener, to ask yourself, say self, am I confusing or mixing up the parts of speech when it comes to the word friend? I don't know. Something to think about. One of the things that I used to tell my children when they were growing up, and this is something that you can borrow this from me and thank me later. But everyone who's friendly isn't a friend. So again, I want to reiterate that when I'm talking about faux friends, I'm using the word FAUX, as in phony or unreal, as opposed to talking about the phony friends like the haters. I'm not really talking about the haters. I'm just talking about these perceived or friendships that we have with individuals that we really don't know. We have no clue about them. Like they may have sent us a friend request. They may be in a Facebook group that we know. They may even be, let's take it outside of social media. They may even just be people that you work with. You may work with someone and have a work dynamic or relationship with someone, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a quote unquote friend. And I think that what happens when we're dealing with these faux friends is we end up with having all these faux pas because we've given an individual undue leverage into our inner circle when they didn't deserve it because we really had no understanding of what type of person we were dealing with. So now you're all bent out of shape and taken aback based on what somebody said, what they did, what they didn't do, because you were expecting friendship type behavior from someone who was just someone who was friendly. They were just someone you knew, but you don't know well enough to call your friend. How many of you, or let me just say, how many of us have been in a situation where we have let someone new into our life and given them a title of friend only to find out that they didn't have our best interest at heart? I think that there's plenty of us who have done that. And when you add social media to the mix, there is an illusion of friendship that looms over social media that is ridiculous. There are some folks that have thousands and thousands of friends. So there are some of you, and that's on social media. So you have thousands of friends. Are they all your friends? Or are they just people that you know? Or are they people that you quote unquote friended? Again, there we go back to that part of speech where we're talking about the verb aspect of it. You have friended these individuals, meaning you've added them to your social media website, but it doesn't necessarily translate into a friendship. And I'm not trying to really beat a dead horse here, but I hope that you all are seeing the difference. You may have thousands of individuals that you have friended on social media, but are they your friends? Like when you really need to turn to someone, you need an honest opinion. You need someone to give you direction. You need someone to stop you from doing some stupid shit that you're about to do. Because a friend will do that. A friend will say, no, don't do that. But a person who you're friended or that you have brought into your social media circle, they're only clicking like. There's not even a dislike button. There's nothing to say that I dislike what you're about to do. I'm your friend. Stop it. You don't even have that. I mean, they could type that in there, but the majority of the people don't like adversity. And unless unless they are your friend, they're not going to even go behind the scenes and tell you that you're doing some stupid shit. They're just going to scroll past it. And you know why they're going to scroll past it? Because they're not your friend. Is this starting to sink in a little bit? I hope so. I was telling this story just the other day, and this is just to take my examples outside of the social media forum and bring it into the real life forum. I was telling this story just the other day. I was at a company for 9 years. 9. And I worked with a multitude of individuals at this company for 9 years. All very friendly. Well, I won't say all very friendly because the majority of them I didn't like, but friendly. And when you work with individuals for 9 years, you form a relationship, a bond.